when they were on the strip, why wouldn't you have one of the pictures of knowing them in the house? I'm going to take this second shot that my man Big Dog paid for. If y'all would like to buy me a shot, $50, go ahead, help your brother. Funeral cost for a devoted couple. They should have had their own insurance. They were married. They had 4 children. Somebody named Jay Manning is organizing this fundraiser on behalf of.
And this is fair use. Fair use. All right. This right here, puts a new perspective on this whole situation. All right, and how you can actually learn from these type of situations and understand how the Most High, He doesn't let you escape. Eventually, judgment will take place. All right, when you sin in the body, when you rack up sins in the flesh, the scriptures say this, the wages of sin is death. It also says that in James, the first chapter, about temptation. How when you fall into the lust of temptation, that brings you basically closer to death. Let me get that real quick. This is James 1:13, and it says, "Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High. For the Most High cannot be tempted with either, neither tempteth he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust have conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death." All right, so let's listen. Let's take a peek into what he's trying to explain.
Half of Rakia Finley. When I saw that last name, I just thought, right, and the ads on YouTube, especially now since their numbers have jumped. I haven't looked to see what their numbers are. Let's see what it is now. Let's see what the subscribers are now. It's at 5.8. So it says on Sunday, June 8th, 2025, a tragic event in Las Vegas claimed the lives of a devoted couple, leaving behind 4 kids, a loving family, and a loving family. The family already.
So he's reading the GoFundMe. All right. So let me forward it.
Because that's and I was just sitting up there like, I just kept talking about this woman's ass, and I know I was being disrespectful, but I'm a disrespectful nigga. No, I mean, not disrespectful. If you marry a fine woman, and everybody was telling me she ain't fine like that. She ain't fine like that. And I was like, but no, not, I mean, just, she was attractive to me. Melik has figured it out. See, Melik, all those people somebody told me I was lying. Many of y'all have figured it out. That's what happened to me. When I saw the name, I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
In other words, familiarity set in. He heard that name before. He knows that name. All right. So peep it.
Tanisha, one of the victims, and this GoFundMe has been on behalf of my niece Rakia, and she's one of the daughters. And I'm sitting up here thinking, wait, what? Tanisha. So I went into my old trusty, dusty cell phone and I put in the name Tanisha. I said, let me put this name in here. Because if his name is Finney and his last name is Finley, I said, let me put in Tanisha. Man, if you guys look at my phone and y'all stop being nosy about the other things, yes, it's some out of line shit. I name everybody something. I don't know if that's clear. But I name everybody something. But the first name that came up said Tanisha Finley, co-host. I clicked on it.
That's dude's wife. That's the female victim. That's her. So apparently there was some kind of history. But mind you, this is a married woman. She was married with that dude for decades. They have 4 children, children that are actually adults. So just keep that in mind. Why would he have that woman's number in his phone?
And whatever, so you guys can see it. So then I said, oh no. Yes, that's who it is. She was the co-host. She used to do the morning sodo. When I was in Arizona.
And that should, that little pause that he just did, that shocked look on his face. Really, you should if this dude have any understanding of the Most High and how he gets down, the Most High's will, man, I'd be shaken. I'd be terrified. I'd be fearful. Cause look how that woman got judged. She got judged by the sword, man. Let me grab the script. Job 19 and 29. And it says, be ye afraid of the sword, for wrath bringeth the punishments of the sword, that you may know there is a judgment. And that's exactly how her and her husband got punished by the sword. The Most High put a spirit of vengeance on little baby Joker, the little Mexican dude, and he gunned him down literally live on the strip in front of everybody, in front of pedestrians, tourists. He didn't care. So if this is how she got judged, then you need to be afraid. You need to be worried. I'm talking about Tommy Sotomayor, because he's starting to realize what this all is. But he's gonna get further into it. But I just want to pause it and so y'all can grasp what's going on. It's not looking good.
It's the same person. I text. It is the exact same person. The only thing I can really say is this. I think they must have been swingers.
Now, why would he come to that conclusion that they could have been swingers? Because why would she have been a co-host, which would have meant that she would have had to have been in close proximity. She had to have been, with this dude. She had to have been in his home. It wasn't like they worked at a building together. Tommy Sotomayor, he's always been his own man. He's always streaming from his own resident. So if this woman was a co-host on one of his shows years ago, then that mean that she been in this dude's home. What is a married woman doing at another man's home? And him bringing this out, it made me question the dude's character, the husband. You know, and you go and look at his lives. You know, he was a bit rash, he was a bit loose, and his wife was a bit loose. It was just their whole aura, their vibe. You know, they was real loose. How they was moving. So if that's the case, you know, if this dude really moved like that, then like the scriptures say, whoever perished being innocent, because that's totally off. That's wicked. But I'm gonna let Tommy, you know, finish explaining the situation, and then we're gonna get some more scriptures. All right, because you know the scriptures tell us, you know, what manner of person are you to be. You know, knowing that, hey, this world is getting ready to haste, you know, quickly away. All right, it's getting ready to pass away, and we know how in the fashion that it's going to pass away. So, what manner of person are you to be? The whole entire world lies in wickedness, nothing but ungodly, wicked behavior. Very shameless. And our people, the scriptures say about our people, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They're a nation of evildoers, a sinful nation. So let's continue.
It was actually I have the first text that came. The first text was I don't know, maybe it'll focus if I change the camera. Can y'all see this? That was the first text she ever sent me. (2017) November the 18th. It, and it's something I did do and just ignored it.
So it seemed like now that he's putting two and two together, you know, he's basically making a confession. Now that he remembers and knows everything, he's making a confession that he's admitting to, you know, some activities, you know, that's definitely not tolerated by the Holy One. All right, but he's gonna break it down. This is wicked as hell, man, and now it explains everything. For the Lord to allow them to get it like they got it on live on stream and on the internet and in the street, one of the most famous tourist attractions in Babylon, next to Times Square. They got it in cold blood.
This is a picture she sent me of her and one of her sons. That was the one I guess was going off to school. Spoke with that one today. I'm reading some of these texts. Some of the things that happened, it was thoroughly inappropriate. I'll put them over on the OnlyFans channel, but then ended up.
Yeah, this man. Yeah, the Most High gonna smoke Tommy Sotomayor, man. You know, we all liked him a bit. You know, as far as his content, you know, him being unapologetic when it comes to speaking out about, you know, the end of the so-called black woman. He kind of started that movement on YouTube. You know, right around the time, you know, the elder apostles, you know, they was already on YouTube and bringing the heat and getting on these women. But Tommy Sotomayor, he made a platform out of it, and it became popular. So we rocked with Tommy on that front. But this dude, he ain't got no shame. All right? And he's clearly of the world. And we know that the scriptures say the love of the world is enmity with the Most High. We're not supposed to love the world, neither the things that are in the world. Because what are some of the things in the world? The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, which is of the world, is not of the Father, man. So he's a 2/3. He's gonna be destroyed either way. All right. But that was just shameless. I'm gonna throw that on OnlyFans, huh? Anyway, let's keep going.
Ended up going too far. And the reason I say that I believe that they must be swingers, because he used to drop her off at the house. He used to drop her off at the house.
So that's confirmation based on what he's saying. So this dude, he's knowingly dropping his woman off at another man's house. And I'm pretty sure he knew who Tommy was. When you watch, when I'll let it play, but he's gonna tell you that the dude was a fan of Tommy. So he knew all along that he was dropping his wife off at this man's home, his resident. Who do such a thing? Who would do that? Unless you into that lifestyle, or you're pimping your wife. Now, off top, let's establish this. Let's go to Sirach, the 25th chapter. And we're going to go down to verse 25 and 24. And it says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad. And it seemed like they must have had that kind of relationship based on what Tommy is saying. You know, I'm not with the gossip or anything like that, but, you know, the fact that he was able to go into his phone and show those receipts, I believe him. So this man was openly allowing his woman to go and have relations with other men. And that make perfect sense why most of their trips that they live stream was right here in Sin City, where that type of activity goes on a nightly basis. You know, you'll have married women, you know, the night before they get married, you know, they'll throw a bachelorette party at one of the hotels, and they'll find a dude or a male stripper or whoever to come and pop the woman before she ties the knot. It happens a lot out here. So you're not supposed to give the water no passage. But this dude dropping his woman off. So they was definitely living an ungodly life. lifestyle, and they was living in pleasure. When you saw them in them streams, they're liquored up, under the influence, and they just loose, and they figure like, hey, our children are grown now. We ain't got to babysit them. Let's let's hit Vegas up. Let's. So they got on like that. Now the scripture, I'm gonna read it again. It says, "Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gather broad." And when you're a wicked dude like that, and you don't, you definitely don't live godly. You don't live according to the Most High, in his righteous ways. You're gonna do whatever it is that's appealing to the flesh, and you're also gonna appease the woman. Especially if you're of the world, you're gonna do whatever it is to appease your woman. Was that scripture in 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter, where it talks about he that is married care for the things of this world, how he may please his wife. So he had to keep booking those trips and bringing her out there. This was probably the only way for him to keep her happy as they was getting older. So they probably came up with this agreement. When according to the law, a woman is bound by her husband as long as he lives. The only way she's free from the law of her husband is when he dies. Well, ironically, she would have been freed, but she had judgment coming too, because they both got sent back. So that's off the rip. And now let me get another precept, and this dealing with Tommy. Sirach 9, and I'm gonna start at verse 8, and it says, "Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman," because he kept talking about how he was attracted to her. She had a big behind or whatever. She was shapely, but that was a married woman. Yahweh Shai said it best. You look on a woman to lust after her in your heart, have committed adultery already. But in this society, you can have undisciplined eyes. It's not gonna go unchecked until you meet a dude with the spirit of vengeance on him. It says, "And look not upon another's beauty." And this wicked society is designed where there's a bunch of women out there that advertise themselves. They put themselves on display in public, even when they're married or have a man. Dressing provocative, revealing everything, want all the attention. You go anywhere, especially the gym or the club or whatever, they just got to show themselves. And you as a man, being, it's your nature to be attracted to beautiful women. You got to fight yourself. At least in this truth, you become disciplined. So even if you might slip a little bit, you check yourself. These niggas in the world, they don't have any boundaries, because they don't live by the same thing we live by. It says, "For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for herewith love is kindled as a fire." Here's the point: sit not at all with another man's wife, which he's admitting here. He's gonna, when you further listen, that's exactly what's happening. He's gonna admit that he actually had a relationship with this woman. "Sit not at all with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in thine arms, and spend not thy money with her at the wine, lest thine heart incline unto her, and so through thy desire thou fall into destruction." So it's only a matter of time, bruh. All right, Tommy Sotomayor. And the Most High, he has no respect of persons. He don't care who you are. But let's finish this out. I ain't gonna make this too long. But hey, this is what a turn of events with this situation.
everything. He knew everything.
And yeah, and you know, him knowing that was wicked in itself. All right. That's basically you pimping your woman. And you know, what do the scriptures call somebody who basically sells a woman to commit whoredom? A whoremonger. All right. Don't let IUIC or even a Christian church for that matter, you know, butcher the actual meaning of what it means to be a whoremonger. All right, a whoremonger is simply a pimp, because the word monger, it literally means to trade. All right, let's do that. You look up the word monger, and it says Old English monger, merchant, trader, broker. All right, from mangian, to traffic, trade, and you know them swingers. You know, you trading your wife, you know, for another man's wife. That's wicked as hell, man. That's very disgusting. It says from Old Saxon mongon, Old Nursey, mongari, monger, higgler, from Latin mongo, genitive mongonis, dealer, trader, slave dealer. So when you dealing in trade, you actually are selling. You're buying and selling. Okay. So when you hand your woman over to another man because you know is helping to get the bills paid or whatever, you basically selling your wife in whoredom. That's straight up whoremongering. Sirach 23. Yeah, Sirach 23. And I'm gonna start at 16. And it says, two sorts of men multiply sin, and the third will bring wrath. A hot mind is a burning fire. It will never be quenched till it be consumed. A fornicator in the body of his flesh will never cease till he have kindled a fire. Meaning he ain't gonna stop because, you know, that pleasure is everything. He can never give it up. You know, it's like a quick fix to sleep around with other men's women. Because that's what fornication is, adultery. All bread is sweet to a whoremonger. He will not leave off till he die. So that's how you know what a whoremonger is, because it says all bread is sweet to him. You know, what do Jake, you know, refer to as their money? When you're speaking in Jake slang, what do they call a money? My bread. You know, you going to your job so you can get your daily bread. You're earning your daily wages. You know, you trying to make that bread. So a whoremonger, he sells women to make that bread. All right. Or a dude who owns a strip club and he got all them women in there, you know, on the pole doing pole action and doing lap dances and all that. And they getting money thrown at them, but they gotta, you know, pay the dude. He gotta get a percentage of that. And he's getting money off the drinks and all the other things, all the other services in that club. So that's whoremongering. Okay. A female version of that is a madam, Della Reese's character from Harlem Nights. She was a female whoremonger. Okay. So now you see why this dude got judged if this was all true, and he knowingly was doing what he was doing. Let me grab this now. Hebrews 13 and verse 4. And it says, marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers the Most High will judge. And that's why I said Tommy should be shaking he should be shaking in his shoes. Because them two, they already got judged. All right? And their family is mourning. People still screaming about the whole situation. It captivated people. All right? So they got judged. And you admitting that you had some relation with this woman. She was a married woman. And watch, he's gonna admit to it. So let me play this. Let me finish this out. He's gonna admit that he even knew that she was a married woman. Pete.
And whatever make y'all happy, make y'all happy. But it started to feel uncomfortable to me. That's when I stopped it. Because when the I love yous started coming back and forth, it started to feel uncomfortable because this nigga's dropping you off at my house. And where
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house, no matter what condition it's in.
I'm from, if you're right, it could have been, but where I'm from, if you're sleeping with a man's wife, he has every right to kill you.
And you damn right. You absolutely right. And if homeboy wasn't on some weird shit, you know, he would have been in the right. He would have been liable to send you to the third heaven. Because that's the law. All right. Hey, the scriptures say jealousy is the rage of a man. And he will not spare in he will not take no ransom, and he will not spare in the day of vengeance. All right, because that's come on, man. Leviticus 20:10, it says, and the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. But it seemed like dude was with that. You know? And I think was that scripture in the Apocrypha where it talks about how idolatry influenced ungodly behavior in humanity. And one of those things is the disorder in marriage. Wisdom of Solomon 14:22, it says, moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of the Most High, but whereas they lived in a great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace. For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rituals, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another traitorously or grieved him by adultery. This is what we seeing on a broad scale, especially in these last days. It even says in 2 Timothy that men will be lovers of pleasure more than lovers of the Most High. And this is a lawless society that we live in to begin with. He says, so that there reign in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury, disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of kind, that's going into that trans agenda, disorder in marriages, wife swapping, swingers, polyandry, where you got one woman and she got multiple husbands. That's just straight up whoredom. Adultery, and that's basically what that was. It's clearly adultery and shameless uncleanness. So this is all ungodly behavior. And hey, don't think for a second because you still here, you still breathing, that the Most High is just gonna let you, just fly on past, man. Especially knowingly doing something like that. Ecclesiastes 8:11, because sins against an evil work isn't executed speedily, it's in you to do evil. But just know that it will not go well with the ungodly, even if you prolong your days.
Now, this was when I was at my peak of my superpowers. So as I was watching them, I kept saying, I guess maybe they convinced him to try and become a YouTuber. No, yeah, she had her ass was huge.
No shame. And that's what, see, that's why I read in James 1 about how lust, it can bring you down that rabbit hole to death. Just because you couldn't have any discipline. Turn away that eye from another's beauty.
I mean, it was huge for how small she was, and she has 4 kids. And I had to try it. I'm sorry. It just, bucket. You're not going to keep walking around me with that fat ass, and I'm not stupid. But it's one of the things that make me say getting married is something I would never want to do.
Yeah, because this is what the prophecies say, and we can't break prophecy. Amos 7:17, and it says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city." You can marry these women if you want, but this is what it is, especially in the land of the mother of harlots. And thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. So, yeah, we got nothing but whores in this land. Our women, they're whores. Is what we got to deal with, man. So, yeah, he admits to it. It's like a confession, and I don't see him getting mercy because he's definitely not he's not of the elect, and he would be in the truth by now if he was. He knows about the truth. He socializes with Captain Zariak all the time. So, yeah, man, that was, this right here was an interesting spin, and it puts a whole new perspective to that situation. Job 4:7, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? All right, and the Most High put both of their lights out right in the midst of the Las Vegas strip lights. At first, when I heard the story and I saw how it went down, I was like, damn. I had a little ounce of sympathy. But seeing how, things unfolded, Jake instigated, he pushed that little baby Joker demon and until he crashed out. And then to come to find out from Tommy that they was moving real weird. And this is why they were attracted to being out here in Sin City. So yeah, man. Now they in their right mind in the spiritual realm. All right. And Tommy, it's only a matter of time, bro. So anyway, I'm going to end off with that. I'm going to give all honor, all praise, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And to the next one, Shalom.